All right, so welcome to Mark's Millionaire Challenge, and so today, very interesting day. I'm shooting this video really early on Friday morning because this is day 10 of the challenge, and so the reason why I'm shooting this video early is I actually got up super early and did some posting. I'm out looking for another appointment setter, and so I'm going to be interested to see what happens over the course of the weekend. Looking for someone new, who's going to, help me grow this business. And so we'll see how that turns out. So that was sort of the big thing for me. And a couple other things I did and was to sit down, and I did some mind mapping after I shot the video last night. I wanted to lay out, a real strategy for my business, and so I did that. And I want you to know that while this week may not have seen, fraught with, tons of appointments, I did have appointments. I have some follow-ups for next week, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'll let you know how those go. But, I just want to make sure that my business is scalable. I want to make sure that, I'm not flying by the seat of my pants. I'm not just running out there and doing deals, and that there's no infrastructure in place. That was a mistake I made in my first business. Was, I went out and the thing exploded on me. I mean, it literally grew so fast that I didn't have the support in place, to help grow this business. And, that was a big lesson for me. And so while I want to be active in generating leads, and I intend to do that, I also want to make sure that I'm prepared to handle, what comes of those leads. And that's really important. That's something you need to think about as well. But I want to make this very clear. There's a fine line between, making things perfect and being ready, and taking action. And so I don't want you to sit down and to think that things have to be perfect before you take some action, because that's, quite frankly, a bunch of BS. It doesn't need to be perfect. Good is good enough. Never, ever forget that. The very first product that I ever created, when I look back at that first product was no doubt a D product, okay? It wasn't an A-level product. It was definitely a D product. And you ask any information marketer, and they will tell you that their very first product, they're probably, well, kind of embarrassed by it. But it doesn't mean that you can't improve upon that product over time, because that's what it's all about. What you think your prospect or your customer wants may not be what your customer actually wants. And so over time, you'll find your product evolve. And I'll never forget, my first product was, sold for several $100s, and it was, PowerPoint slides, in a 3-ring binder with some audio CDs. I look at that, and I'm quite embarrassed by what I was selling then. But it sold. Did I have refunds? The answer is yes. But over time, I went in and I fixed that product. I made it better and better and better, and it remained a flagship product for a very long time. And so the same thing applies here. Your product, your service that you're providing to, your clients doesn't need to be perfect. However, you can and you will improve it over time so that it is awesome and you are very much proud of it. But remember, it's an evolution. This isn't, it's not you made it, it's over, you can never do it again. That's not true. You're going to be able to improve on what you're doing. You might find an SEO person that you're working with, that does okay, but then you might run across someone, through, networking that might be an even better person at search engine optimization. You might find a web guy that does pretty decent at building websites, and then you find one that's even better than him or her, okay? And so these are the things that you want to keep in mind. You also need to realize that while you may have a C or D product, improving it is something that needs to be on the front burner as well as you taking action. So please don't sit around and think, I've got to have everything perfect. I got to have this, I got to have that, I got to do this, got to do that before you take action. I mean, look, using this interview method, I didn't even have a domain name registered yet. I didn't register a domain name for, my the site that I'll be using to promote these small business owners I didn't register that domain name until after I had made money on my first deal. Okay, and quite frankly, here we are 10 days into the challenge, and while I have the domain name, there's nothing up yet. Okay, now does that mean I'm not going to do it? No, I'm going to put up a directory, and I'm going to profile those people. I'm definitely going to do that. There's nothing there yet. Okay, and I'm comfortable with letting them know that I'm working on that. Okay, but there are other things that are more important, and that is making sure that I'm scalable, making sure my business can handle an influx of new clients, and that I'm prepared, to outsource that work to keep my business growing, so that I can focus on lead generation. And so that has been sort of on my brain. I wanted to make sure that I conveyed that to you, because sitting back and waiting for things to be perfect, well, guess what? You will forever sit back and wait on things to be perfect, because there is no such thing as perfect. There is no perfect business. It just isn't. And so just as long as you got something in place, okay, that you can move forward, go with it. All right? So with that said, my focus is to see what kind of leads I get over the weekend, and then I'm going to spend literally Monday and Tuesday, because I'm going to also post over the weekend as well, even though I'll be out of town. I'm going to post over the weekend to line up as many appointment setters and interviews as I can. I'll also be spending the first part of the week, Monday and Tuesday, follow-ups with folks that were very interested in my services. One of them, I'm sure, is going to take a couple meetings, because I think this one will easily be, for me, a high 4, even 5-figure deal if it goes the way that I anticipate. So, don't want to jinx myself by saying any more than that. Just know that I'll be working Monday and Tuesday, to make those kinds of things happen. Something else I'll be doing is focusing on getting that WSO ready that I promised you that I was going to have ready on Wednesday. And so on Monday, I will complete the taping of it, and then I'll be doing some other things with it on Tuesday, and then I'll let you know Wednesday what happens. And so that is up and running, and I hope that you guys will support it, because quite frankly, I think it's something that all of you would very much be interested in. And so the one thing I will say, though, is that this WSO is going to automatically feed new leads to you every day, all day. So, man, am I excited. You ought to be too. Anyway, that's enough for now about that. That is it for today. Again, the big takeaway, for today is make sure your business is scalable, and please, while you're doing that, don't sit back trying to make things perfect. Just make sure you have some things in place, or at least an idea of what you need, and go forward. Go forward in generating leads. So that's it for day 10. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Bye.